What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about and answer the question why I'm stacking silver, how long I've been stacking for, and what my goals are for the future. But really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos. Also subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Brand new video over there, go check it out. The link will be in the description. Trying to hit 1,000 subscribers and we're really close. And if you want to help support the channel by getting some DYDSS merchandise, of course we have some precious metal themed t-shirts and hoodies which are up for grabs, along with a ton of other products, t-shirts, hoodies, even stickers, many of which are raising funds and awareness for different charity organizations. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance, it's more than appreciated. But today I want to talk about silver and why exactly I decided to stack it. So sitting here in front of me, I've got nothing special. Well, it's silver special, but I got some 90% over here, some generic rounds over here, a tube of Silver Eagles, my pocket silver, which evidently makes me a major cheese ball. By the way, really quick, the guy who said the major cheese ball thing actually inspired me to create some major cheese ball merchandise because I'm a big believer in monetizing the haters. So if anybody wants to get a t-shirt, hoodie, sticker, or coffee mug to support the channel and to give a little bit of a screw you to that guy, the link will be in the description. I have a 10-ounce silver sunshine bar, and I also have some gold over here on the side, which I will get into later, which is why it's not in frame right now. But I wanted to talk about something because last night I decided to do a spur-of-the-moment live stream, and I went live for over 2 hours. It was not planned, it was not expected. I typically don't even live stream anymore for the most part, but I decided to, and had a bunch of people watching, and a lot of questions were coming in. One of the questions that I got was, why do you stack silver? And I briefly answered it on the stream, but I thought that I could remake a video, because I've already made this video before. I've already talked about why I stack, but I figured I could remake the video and add more points and more information. So that's what I wanted to talk about. And by the way, good news, for the first time in about probably 3 months, I was finally able to pick up a little bit of silver. Just one piece of silver though. I will be getting plenty more starting next month, but something that I've never stacked before, I've never owned it, and if I've never owned it, I was obviously never able to show it off in a video, so it's going to be something new, something different. If you want to take a guess what it is, head on down to the comments and guess away. So moving forward, I want to talk about why I'm stacking silver. Now, before I was stacking silver, you want to know how I was stacking? I was stacking dollar bills. I've never been too much of a spender. I've always been excellent at saving money. Now I realize all those years I was actually saving currency, not saving money, but oftentimes they go hand in hand. So most of my life, I always tried my best to not spend very much or not burn through or blow through all of the cash that I had worked for. I currently enjoy seeing my silver stack become more and more, get more and more silver. The little pile starts to turn into a miniature mountain, and it grows. I like to see growth, I like to see progress. Well, before silver, it was the same way with dollars. Back then, I was keeping a majority of my cash in the bank. Didn't really know any better. I didn't really know that there was any other way of doing things, and it was a good feeling to see those digital numbers grow, get higher and higher. So when I first discovered silver, it was about probably 4 years ago. I did not get started stacking until about 2.5 years ago, but a friend of mine introduced me to silver. I showed him something that I had going on, a business idea that I wanted to start with a group of guys I went to high school with. He's somebody I went to elementary and middle school with, and I invited him to come hang out and see what we had going on, and he told me he doesn't really have anything other than his job for when it comes to making money, but he has something interesting going on for when it comes to saving money. That's when he told me about silver. This was about 4 years ago. I had no clue in the world what he was talking about. It was the first I had ever heard of it before. Blew my mind, didn't understand it, could not really fully grasp the concept. All I knew is that it was interesting. I liked the fact that it was discreet, low-key, something you could do on your own without the involvement of any government entity or bank or anything like that. No one is really involved. It's something you can do on your own and be in control of it. And he was talking about how it's wealth preservation for the long term and how it can act as a hedge against inflation. And at the time, I just didn't really understand all of the terminology. All I knew is that I was interested. I didn't know if it was for me. I didn't really think all that much about it. I just knew for a fact that I thought it was cool. And about a year and a half after, I actually started stacking on my own. I don't know what made me think of it, but all of a sudden I was like, huh. I remember he was telling me about silver a couple years ago. So I did a little bit of research. I found some channels like the Overtaxed Taxpayer, Salvit Metals, and got a bunch of information from them. Did a little bit of independent research, read some articles, watched some other videos, did my own due diligence, and I decided that silver is something that I wanted to do. Although I did not know how serious I was going to take it. I was doing YouTube at the time, but I've been on YouTube since YouTube pretty much first came out, so I'd always been making videos, but prior to discovering silver, I had never made a silver video. So I went to a coin shop. Actually, it was a pawn shop, but they also sell coins. I picked up a silver round. It was not this one, but I picked up just 1 ounce of silver. That's all it took. That's all I needed to actually understand what it's like to have real, true, honest money in your hands. Because before silver, like I said, all I knew was currency. All I knew was fiat. All I knew was this paper, glorified IOU dollar. This does not feel nearly as special or substantial as this. So I got started, just picked up 1 ounce of silver. Next month I picked up a little bit more, I think maybe 2-3 ounces of silver. The following month I started picking up 4 or 5 ounces of silver, and then I started using all the precious metal websites where it's $100 free shipping, so I was getting bare minimum $100 worth at a time, and that's how I got started. I started making videos about it. Turns out people like the silver videos way more than they like the videos that I used to make, so ended up making silver videos every day. So that's how I discovered silver, and the reason that I'm stacking it now, the reason that I'm consistently and trying my best to stack it as aggressively as I can, minus the last 3 months because of everything that's been going on in the world, but for the most part, over the last 2.5 years, I've been stacking as aggressively as possible. Go to work every day, come home, pay the bills, and with the currency that's left over, I'll take a solid portion of it and convert it into some silver. Maybe some gold. But the reason I do it is simply to save money. That's why, in essence, that's the long story short, I'm doing it to save money for the long term. However, during last night's stream, I got a lot of questions about the gold to silver ratio as well. And I'm going to intertwine that in this video slightly as well. But before I do that, like I said, I started out with silver rounds. I got all of these silver rounds along with more than just this as well. I got nothing but silver rounds for the first couple of months, and then I like to say that I graduated, moved on over to silver eagles. That's why I got quite a few tubes of silver eagles, and for the last 2.5 years, it's pretty much primarily been silver eagles, with of course the Canadian maple second in command, with some miscellaneous coins such as the kangaroo, the panda, the libertad, a bunch of other coins. Very, very trusted, respected coins. Pure silver, 1 ounce silver coins. Then I got a deal on some larger denomination silver bars. I think a 5 ouncer I got on Black Friday. And then I got a 10 ouncer as a Christmas present for myself. And after my first year of stacking was up, I started stacking not primarily 90%, I would just include at least $1 face value worth of 90% silver within my orders. So if I was picking up, I don't know, 5-10 silver eagles, let's just say, I would make sure to throw in at least 4 silver quarters, 10 silver dimes, or 2 silver half dollars, just for diversification. I understand the importance of diversification, and I obviously appreciate the fact that 90% silver gives me a way to break an ounce, if that makes sense, make change for an ounce. because it takes 14 silver dimes to equate to a troy ounce of silver, about 6 silver quarters to equate to a troy ounce of silver, and 3 silver half dollars to equate to roughly a troy ounce of silver. So it's a good way of making change or breaking an ounce if you ever needed to do so. So it's US silver coins on a fractional level, which I appreciate. So that's how I got started stacking. That's how I was introduced to it. But it's not just silver I stack. I got a little bit of gold as well. Now, here's how I view gold and how I want to stack it in a perfect world, which I know we do not live in. I would, in theory, rather not convert my dollars into gold. I would rather convert my dollars into silver. And if and when the gold to silver ratio gap closes in a little bit, the ratio begins to make a little bit more sense. I would not want to convert my dollars into gold. I would like to convert some silver into gold. So dollars to silver, silver to gold, and then if and when the gap spreads back out, the gold to silver ratio begins to not make sense anymore, rinse and repeat. Go back to trading time for dollars, trading dollars for silver. When the gap closes back in, if and when that happens, silver to gold. See, I like to be strategic about what I do when it comes to money, when it comes to finances, when it comes to both silver and gold, and when it comes to currency. I like to be strategic, and I always like to get the most bang for my buck if and when possible. So that's how and when I would like to get more into gold. But for the time being, while I'm waiting, I'm just picking up some fractional gold. Similar for a similar reason why I'm stacking 90% silver. For diversification. I do not believe in putting all your eggs in one basket. Doesn't seem like a good idea to me. I don't want to be a one-trick pony. So why stack only silver? Even if gold is pricey, even if the gold to silver ratio gap is very far apart. Right now it's approximately 1 to 100, which is pretty unbelievable. If we see that close in one day in the future, I would not take all my silver. I would not even take half of my silver. I would just take a portion of silver, maybe 1 or 2 tubes of Eagles, nothing crazy, and trade it for a little bit of gold to reduce the weight, to reduce the bulk, and to preserve those high silver spot prices. However, there's something else you need to consider. Everyone says, including myself for the longest time, I always said, when the silver to gold ratio gap, or the gold to silver ratio gap begins to make sense, trade some silver for gold. Well, what if the gold to silver ratio gap closes in not because of silver going up? What if silver stays put, but gold comes down? What if that's the reason it closes in? Then it might not necessarily make the most sense to trade silver when it's at an opportunity low, in my opinion. At that point, I might do something that kind of contradicts what I said before, because I don't necessarily see this happening, but it's always a possibility. Go to converting dollars into gold at that point, if that's what makes more sense. Like I said, it's all about strategy. It's all about evaluating what makes the most sense. It's all about figuring out which is the way to go, what's the smartest wave to ride at this very specific point in time, which is also why on last night's stream I said it's important to study all of the markets. If you're stacking silver and gold and you're not affiliated with or involved in any other market, I would say it's foolish to not pay attention to those markets anyway. For example, I've said it for a couple years now. I love silver, I love gold. I'm really not into crypto. I'm not a crypto hater. I respect it as a form of diversification. All diversification is, better than putting all your eggs in one basket, but I just don't really believe in it. I don't have all that much faith or confidence in cryptocurrency. Nothing wrong with that. I still pay attention to the crypto markets. I unfortunately do not have the money or the currency to get involved in real estate. I still pay attention to the real estate market. I still look at the stock market. I study everything. Because if you stay one step ahead, And if you are at least somewhat familiar with what's going on in all of the markets across the board, maybe, just maybe, you could be ahead of the game and be one step ahead. And that might really pay off. So in conclusion, I pay attention to everything. Even though I'm just stacking silver and gold, I look at all the markets. I pay attention to everything, or at least I try to. I don't need to be an expert in everything, but I like to be familiar with everything. So, in conclusion, that's what I do. That's how I do it. When it comes to converting one to the other and then that into something else, I currently do one of those things, and in the future maybe I'll be able to do the other. I already convert dollars into silver. I've yet to convert any of my silver into any gold. Maybe one day. But as of right now, silver is the priority. Silver is my focal point. Silver is number one for me. But I stack a little bit of gold anyway, regardless, for diversification purposes. As I said in the video a couple days ago, maybe yesterday's video, I'm a bigger believer in silver right now than anything else. However, there's one thing that I'm an even bigger believer in, and that's diversification. And also, in reference to gold really quick, the reason that I only get fractional pieces of gold, the only reason that I have gold this small, a lot of people tell me, they're like, why would you get 1/10 of an ounce gold coins? Why would you not go for a full ounce? Why don't you just wait it out and save up and get something more for a lower dollar amount? The number one reason I do not do this is because I'm personally not comfortable. It's all personal preference, by the way. Not a financial advisor. Nothing on this channel. It's financial advice. It's all for entertainment purposes, but it's also to initiate a conversation. However, for me personally, I prefer fractional gold because I'm personally not comfortable putting a huge dollar amount into one specific piece of metal. I would rather put that same dollar amount into several different metals. For example, what if I ordered this online and it got stolen in the mail, or lost in the mail somehow, or the package got stolen or something like that? This right now is worth about $180, give or take. Having $180 stolen from you or lost somehow is a lot less heartbreaking than having $1,800 stolen or lost somehow. So the premiums on these are a little bit higher. You are going to be paying a higher dollar amount if I were to get 10 of these rather than getting the 1 troy ounce version of this. 10 times the size, 10 times the weight, but a lower dollar amount. The way I see it, the higher premium is a security feature. That's what I like to refer to it as. That's how I see it. That's how I view it. You don't have to agree with me. I'm not here to be agreed with. But I would rather pay a slightly higher dollar amount just to avoid putting all of those dollars into one specific piece of metal. If it were to get lost, if it were to get stolen, not to mention, these are easier to part with. Easier than a 1 ounce gold coin, that is. What if I needed to liquidate and I didn't want to part ways with an entire ounce of gold? But if I were to have 10 of these, I could just grab 5 of them and liquidate if that's what I need to or want to do. So I would rather have multiple small transactions than fewer large transactions. Like I said, it's all personal preference. I try to be strategic, and there is a reason behind pretty much everything that I do. So Even though when it comes to silver, I try my best to get it as a low dollar amount as possible. I try to get the bare minimum dollar amount, which is why for the last 2.5 years I've mostly been stacking silver eagles, low premiums, a lot of 5-ounce and 10-ounce bars, generic rounds, 90% constitutional silver. It's all low premium stuff. But when it comes to gold, I happily pay a slightly higher premium just to play it a little bit more safe. But like I said, that's just me. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section down below as well. And now really quick, back to silver. When I initially graduated, as I like to say, from generic rounds to coins, I started out with the Silver Eagle, and I continued with the Silver Eagle, and like I said, the Canadian Maple Leaf is second in command. The reason these two coins right here, this and this, are my two favorite 1-ounce silver coins is because they are the most recognizable silver coins on the planet. The first most recognizable and the second most recognizable. And when I started stacking, the very end of 2017 going into 2018, and I started to learn more about different countries' 1-ounce silver coins, I knew that Canadian Maple Leafs were prone to milk spotting, maybe not so much post 2018 due to a new minting process or procedure. But I said to myself, I was like, well, why am I going to pay a higher dollar amount? Why am I going to pay the full premium to get silver coins that are either going to arrive with milk spots or develop milk spots? So almost all of my Canadian Maple Leafs are culls. I ordered them with scratches. I ordered them with milk spots, lower premium. But Silver Eagles, typically, I go with uncirculated ones. With that being said, out of curiosity, what are your thoughts? I know this video was initially started out to talk about why I'm stacking silver. I went through that. So out of curiosity, why are you stacking silver? And if you're stacking gold, why are you stacking gold? Do you prefer one over the other? Do you prioritize one over the other? Do you ignore one altogether? You stack them both about 50-50? What are your thoughts on the current gold to silver ratio gap, with it being pretty much just about 1 to 100? What are your thoughts on that? Who introduced you to silver? And why are you into silver? Is it for wealth preservation for the long term like it is for me? Maybe you're not necessarily stacking, but you're a coin collector. Maybe you're doing it specifically to pass down to your children or your grandchildren. Everyone's stacking for a different reason. There's really no right and wrong answers. Unless, of course, you're expecting silver to go to $10,000 an ounce, I would say you're probably misinformed. I guess anything's possible, but I'm willing to bet every ounce of silver that I have. Silver's never going to $10,000 an ounce, but hey, I've been wrong before and I'll be wrong again. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you guys enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button. If you guys like me, make sure to subscribe. New videos every single day, 365 days a year. Also subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for exclusive weekly content. Brand new video over there. Go check it out. The link will be in the description. Trying really hard to hit 1,000 subscribers, and we're really close, so help us out. And if you want to help support the channel in the biggest possible way, please consider getting yourself some DYDSS merchandise. Of course, we have some precious metal themed t-shirts and hoodies, which are up for grabs. A ton of other products, t-shirts, hoodies, even stickers, many of which are raising funds and awareness for different charity organizations. Any and all merchandise can be found by clicking the first link in the description section down below. Thank you in advance. It's more than appreciated. And I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know, what are your thoughts on stacking silver? Obviously, I'm sure if you're watching this far into the video that you stack silver as well, but why is it that you stack? Is it for wealth preservation purposes? Are you doing it just to collect? Do you view it as something else? Do you do it for a different reason? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, along with who or how or when you got involved in silver in the first place. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, and remember, don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.